Okay, Mrs. Erin, would you be able to explain to me in depth how some of your programs run?
Yes, I'll explain. We have a wide variety of programs, and I'll choose a few that I feel are our star programs for the elderly. The first program is called our Dial a Ride program. And the way it works is we have a huge a huge database of volunteers who we recruit from all over. Wherever we go, we always try to recruit volunteers. The volunteers are on this database, and we usually, when we get a call from an elderly person, it's usually to take the elderly person to a medical appointment. Um, it's most helpful if the elderly person gives us a couple of days notice, because like I said, everything is volunteer based. Then we put it out on our data, we put it out on our email, and we email all our volunteers asking who would be available to take this person from such and such an address to such and such an address. And 99% of the time we are successful, and we match a volunteer. Usually it's a different volunteer. One volunteer will take the person, and one volunteer will bring the person home. And if you would go through a service, even a discounted taxi service for the elderly, it is quite a bit of money, and these taxi services don't even cover the areas that we cover. So it is free of charge, and then they're getting a wonderful, cheerful volunteer who comes to pick them up, always puts them at ease, makes them feel good, and then they get another wonderful, cheerful, warm, kind volunteer who picks them up and takes them to their home, and they feel like it's like a family member taking them and not a strange taxi driver who charges a lot of money. And this is a very big help for them financially, but it's also help for them emotionally. So that's one of our wonderful special programs that we do. Now, we sometimes even accompany an elderly if they need to be driven to a supermarket or something like that. It's not really our Dial a Ride program, but we do bend the rules occasionally and take somebody to their shopping center, what have you. But usually if somebody needs shopping, then we have a private volunteer who we set up with this elderly person. That's another one of our programs. We match a volunteer to an elderly person, and the volunteer will take this elderly person shopping on a weekly basis or on a bi-weekly basis, whichever the elderly chooses. Either the elderly person will come along with their volunteer, and it's a social afternoon for them, or the volunteer will go by him or herself and shop for the elderly person. So that's one of our wonderful programs, is our Dial a Ride program. Another program that we have that is also very, very successful is our Sunshine Club and our Friendship Club. Every Tuesday we have our Sunshine Club, where the elderly lady is picked up by a volunteer. It's door-to-door chauffeur service. She's picked up and brought to it's somebody's home. The program is done in somebody's home, somebody who has a large home and can accommodate a lot of ladies, and they come for a beautiful, delightful, delicious lunch that is served to them. They're wined and dined and really pampered, and they get a chance to socialize with all their friends, which is a very big treat for them, because a lot of these people are shut-ins and isolated. They dress themselves up in their finest clothes with their makeup, very elegant ladies. And after the lunch, they're treated to a fabulous program. It could be a musical presentation, it could be a choir put on, it can be a soloist who's singing to them, it can be a speaker, a motivational speaker. Sometimes doctors come in to speak to them, financial analysts come and speak to them, learned clergy, rabbis. It's the sky's the limit, the type of entertainment that we get for these elderly ladies. And the elderly ladies are very intelligent, bright, and they really, really enjoy it immensely. And also, another one of our programs, which we're very proud of, is our kitchen that we have in our Bikur Cholim headquarters. It's also state-of-the-art. Our chef is wonderful. She cooks all the food herself, and she has volunteers who come in every day who help her package the food and get it ready to be transported out to the elderly in their homes or their nursing homes or the hospitals. Those would I would say are our prize programs, among many, many, many others. But I think our time is short and I can't elaborate on all of them. And I hope this gave you a small idea of the programs that we run here at Bikur Cholim.
Okay, thank you for that.